I didn't go to Gubs' one, so I'm automatically going to be biased and say that Kelvin's one might have been the best symphonic ever. Ever.
KZN girls, I mean, and I was like, maybe it's just like everywhere has mean girls. The time that we were standing at the bar,
right?
And that guy was like, I need to go to Remy Martin. I'm leaving now. That was Scott?
That was Scott!
No!
Yes!
The guy who was standing with.
She got a void, I can't deny when I'm around her. I feel it inside, I feel like the sky open and the sunshine starts gleaming, getting what I've been hoping for.
Join me, Naledi Mallela, on a brand new season of My Top 5.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Everything and
Nothing podcast.
where we give you absolutely everything and
absolutely nothing.
that's exactly what I was saying.
Ian.
We give you Ielke and Iana. Ielke and Iana.
Ons gee jou
Yeah, Ielke
elke ding
and
niks
Niks
niks chomi.
Chomi, I'm so bad at Afrikaans.
Clearly.
Speaking of bad things that happen, friends.
Speaking of bad things that happened, guys, wait. let me address you guys. So,
Right.
last episode, I said to Naledi, what's your gig, guys?
Yes.
Tell me where you're going, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, we're talking about Rochelle's thing and Heineken House. And I was like, take me with you. I shouldn't have said that because did she take me with me?
Exactly. And we took it to the very top. How did you find the Heineken event, friend?
It was nice. I liked it. I liked the fact that like it was nice. It wasn't like a forced experience. It was a very enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
We had a good time. We drank some beer. We had some shots.
Facts.
We saw some boys. Oh my gosh. Lots of boys.
I don't want us to talk about that guy. Oh my gosh, guys, I am getting a call from a very, hold on. Let's
Do you
pretend
believe
that
it or
didn't-
not? Do you believe it or not?
And guys, one thing about Sen Studios, hey guys, they're not gonna edit anything else.
Not this girl.
Let's go back to Heineken, okay? So Heineken was an amazing event, friend. We're gonna talk about it.
Okay. Heineken was good.
It was amazing,
Heineken was great.
right?
And then it became amazing when we had that mini symphonic.
Yeah, we had that many symphonic moments.
Yeah.
I think the one thing for me that a lot of people don't know is that I attend a lot of Heineken events because I'm a sport fanatic, right?
You are?
I am, friend.
I really don't care about sports.
Like, are you that girl sport?
Yes. Whichever team wins, I'm happy for them.
No. I always thought I was going to be a wag in the past. So I know that I've got this thing in me where if my team doesn't win, it's going to be a bad evening.
Oh, show me. I'm only like that with rugby, but like I think it's because I went to like a predominantly
Rugby
white
school.
Afrikaans school.
Okay.
And so heavy on the rugby. But I don't even watch rugby like that if the Springboks aren't playing.
Are you being for real?
I'm serious. Like,
What?
sports?
No, I'm big
It
on
doesn't make
sports.
sense to me.
No, I'm going to give a big shout out to Heineken for inviting.
And so to Heineken.
Shout out,
Oh,
big
that
shout
was
out.
so great. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't say shout out to Mallela Kabinde. That's my friend. He works for Duma Collectives.
Oh.
He's the AM for Heineken. He
Fuck,
did all that.
Fuck, we look like Metro FM. Are you giving shout out?
When I'm like, guys, I need new friends. Hit
No,
me
you
up if you
don't.
want to be my friend.
No, honestly, big shout out to Banele, big shout out to the Heineken team. One thing about Heineken is they really put in the effort when it comes to doing their events.
Big shout out to Duma Collectives.
Big shout out to Duma Collective. Duma Collective, one thing about them when it comes to any event, they get it right. Like immaculate vibes.
Man, ngireng.
And also big shout out to the Good Vibes Agency because they're the ones who actually invited me this time. It
Okay.
wasn't Duma Collective.
Good vibes. Shout
Yeah,
out to
yeah.
you. Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers. To good vibes.
All right. We have to drink. We can't just cheers and not drink. That's 7 years of bad sex. I know it's a look me in the eyes, but it's still 7 years of bad something.
Anyway,
The
passing
other
on from
events?
Heineken.
Kelvin Momo. Kelvin.
Kelvin Momo.
Kelvin, when
Kelvin,
we
you're
catch you.
lip sync girls on stage, huh?
Yeah, you're kissing honey's there, right?
Kelvin.
Kelvin.
How was that?
I I'm grateful that I now work with brands like, Heineken, Red Bull, lifestyle brands. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. I love working with beauty brands. I feel like they really put in the effort when it
True.
comes to the production. But Symphonic by Red Bull is one event that I wish everyone could experience.
I'm so jealous.
You should be, because you
I'm
missed out.
so
Chumi.
jealous.
It
I
was
wasn't even on Twitter
amazing.
during the weekend because I was like,
The FOMO was killing you.
yeah, it was kind of
Rightfully
murdering
so.
me.
It was amazing, friend, from the production, from the sound, because I obviously went to the rehearsals and I got a chance to
remember,
see
Bodyguard.
the orchestra. Okay, Bodyguard.
Oh, bodyguard.
And shout out to Kelvin for actually allowing me to force him into making a TikTok, because I was just like,
Because I was like, okay, when I saw it on Instagram and when I saw it on his Instagram story and I was like, oh, it's so cute. Like, okay, content.
yeah.
Okay, content.
It's nice to see the Amabiano artists kind of, taking into this whole content creation
Yes,
thing.
true,
But Calvin's
true.
just generally a nice person. So
He
it's-
does seem like a very nice person.
But the Symphonic ate it up.
Really?
I didn't go to Gabza's one, so I'm automatically going to be biased and say that Calvin's one might have been the best Symphonic
yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Guys, and his discography already is insane.
It is.
So there was so much to play and so little time. But seeing Babalo on stage, seeing
She
her
looks so
perform,
nunu. Chef's kiss, Pookie. Chef's kiss.
got in the kitchen and cooked.
Yo.
And I think a lot of people who obviously went to the shows on Saturday and Sunday, I saw Twitter, a lot of people had a lot to say. But
Yeah.
honestly, I would say if you went on the first night, everything was spectacular for me. Nothing could have went wrong.
I saw a lot of discourse about, number one, people like the Red Bull basically allowing phones, because a lot
Yeah.
of people saw already, the people who were going on Saturday already saw what was happening on Sunday,
Right.
which was slightly unfair. But I mean, it's like, you can't just take everyone's phones. That's kind of
course,
unreasonable.
yeah.
I also saw discourse around the fact that Gabza's might have been a bit better, but some guy commented and said, "What did you expect Gabza to do? Kiss young Stana?" Which, you know what? I think if we're going to give people their flowers, let's give them without comparison.
Of course.
If I'm giving you your flowers,
course.
let me not say, oh, but like, Mihlali did this campaign better, but yours was good. I don't believe in that. Kabza was amazing,
Of course.
but in his own right.
Right?
Calvin was amazing in his own right.
But-
But the next symphonic we have, maybe Kitabele Shebe shit, Kharizi.
You're also comparing two different artists and how they act in live
True.
performances. Gabza is one person. He comes in, he plays a set, he leaves.
And he's so like,
Calvin is he has a lot more charisma.
Yeah.
I liked how he was dancing on stage. And I think for what people would have expected him to do, like maybe play a keyboard and stuff, he probably didn't want to do it that way.
Exactly.
And Gabza is not the type to go on stage and dance. And for him, it's just his work. I don't really know Gabza outside of his...
yeah, his craft.
I don't know
True.
him outside of that. So
True.
I liked seeing Calvin just, be
a
Calvin.
person, yeah.
So
I
I don't
get
know.
it.
We might share different discourses about it, but it was an amazing performance for me on the Friday.
Uh-huh.
It was amazing to see how many people pulled up. It was nice to see people have FOMO, ask me for tickets. What do I look like, guys? Ticketmaster.
Ticketpro.com.
Ticketpro.com. No.
Yeah, Chemi, refer the ticket.
I'll try. I'll see what I can do.
Ticket,
I'll
or
cook something
else
up.
I will stop talking to you. Like, if you don't start inviting me to things like this,
Right.
I will stop talking to you. And the one thing about me, I'm not a petty person. And you need to hear this. I'm not a petty person. I'm not. But I can be petty.
So if I don't give you tickets, like it's gonna be down for me.
No, this podcast, she'll bring someone to come sit here because I'm not doing it anymore.
Oh,
But like I said,
it's fine.
I'm
We'll
not
go
a
to
petty
Musical
person.
Chef on Saturday.
Okay.
So there's a guy I met actually when I was going to the rehearsal for Kelvin Momo. His name is actually the Musical Chef. So he's really popular. But when I met him, he was just like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" And he invited me to his event, which is happening on Saturday. I'm actually going to be a host.
Ooh.
So you guys should check it out. It's the Musical Chef Experience. Let's go.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Let's go. Hey, these Amabiano artists are inviting me everywhere. Hey.
I like this. I like seeing you in your element. It's really cool. It's such a cool thing to notice. Guys, when you go to an event with Naledi, you have to be prepared to either number one, sit alone, like somewhere, or number two, walk the whole time. There's no in between. If you don't want to walk with her, then you'll sit alone. But Naledi walks it like
I walk.
she knows way too many people.
And I want to do my rounds. I think the one thing people always say about me is that you always greet, and I feel like if I see someone, I'm gonna greet.
And you
know?
do, show me. Like, I saw go Heineken house. The amount of times I had to just stand there and be like, hi, yes, hi,
My name
Maria.
is-
Hi, yes, Naledi, yes.
No, but
my
friend, yo,
yes.
I love my job, you guys. You don't understand when someone tells me how much they support me or how much their girlfriend loves me. It just sends me into a spiral of gratitude. Like I
get
don't know
that.
what else to give. Like, do I give you my limb? What else can I do to show you how
That
grateful
I'm
I am?
appreciative,
You know,
yes, I get that.
So it's a nice thing for people to always be on some feel comfortable enough to come up and give me a hug.
Yeah.
Scott Mapuma also gave me a hug.
Hello, Scotty.
What a team, my boy.
Hello, Scotty.
Scotty the hugger Mapuma.
Yeah, sure.
Scott gave us a hug, and he was so sweet, and he looked so amazing. And I remember that night because he had to go to that Remy event afterwards.
Yes.
But I think after meeting
Wait.
Scott, you guys are all wrong, and he's right.
Wait, Chumi, I'm so embarrassed.
What?
The time that we were standing at the bar,
Right?
and that guy was like, I need to go to Remy Martin. I'm leaving now. That was Scott?
That was Scott.
No!
Yes.
The guy who was standing with?
With the glasses, the cute guy.
Yeah!
What?
No!
Yes.
No!
What?
Oh.
That was Scott.
Hi, babes! It was so good meeting you! You're so nice!
You said he must work on his personal branding. Poor guy came up to you, greeted you.
So nice.
He was so sweet.
Oh, Scotty.
Nah, actually, Scott's was amazing, guys. You guys were all
Oh,
wrong,
he
and
was-
Scott.
No,
is
you guys
right.
are all wrong.
You guys are actually
You're
all
wrong.
wrong. You know.
You're so sweet.
But okay, let's move past Amabiano artist because again, this is not Piano Pulse.
No. Before we move past,
Why?
I'm a piano artist. Chemi, we're meeting Matandozi.
Who is that?
Kind of what's that song? Oh my gosh, I
Who
forgot.
is that?
I forgot.
Who is that?
But like she does piano too. Up and coming. Or is she really up and coming?
Is she like that overnight sensation, like that girl when COVID started and she started whistling, and she had like a whistle in her
Damn,
hand?
girl. Damn. Say, damn, girl. Damn. Damn, girl. But anyway, I want to say one thing about Matandos and Amabiano in general before we move on.
Right.
I love, absolutely, and from like way back, from like what was happening during COVID.
Yeah.
From like the rise of Amabiano and how we've got to know Amabiano as it is today.
Yeah.
The fact that piano gives space to so many people.
Yo.
There's no gatekeeping.
At all.
There's no, I mean, everyone has, a little, some people will say there's gatekeeping, but like
Yeah.
when you're outside of the industry looking in, if
Amabiano.
you do something, you can make it.
Like, remember Poisa?
Exactly.
Hamana
boys.
Hamana boys. Off the top of your head, how many people can you think became famous just off having a viral video? I say it's the whistle girl. Remember the girl with the
The
whistle?
whistle girl.
Hamano Maporisa.
Maroto. Amaroto. Itumonta kufunu tumelo.
No, man, that's Jazzy Disciples. Ngetumunta kufunu chosa.
But it's Amaroto who does the song, no?
No. And
Abafuna left and
Can somebody comment in the comments and tell us if it's Maroto or
But
not?
those two boys, I mean, Zuma and
Facts.
They like
Reese
Reese and Zuma.
Zuma.
Yes.
No, yeah, Amapiano's the one genre that I think definitely doesn't gatekeep. It opens up the space for so many people, unlike the hip hop like genre that we have this side. we can only name the artists
Hey,
like
son.
down to the last hand.
Hey, did you see
Hey,
Speedstars?
I saw Speedstars one. Did you see Cass and Aries? What? These podcasts are starting beefs. These podcasts are starting beefs. And like, I just want to say, I'm a big red meat eater. So what it do, baby?
You know-
I'll be seated. But speaking of gatekeeping,
Speaking of gatekeeping.
let's go back to our industry that we're good at.
Okay. You know what I've seen?
Yeah.
A lot of people like the insights we share when it comes to
Content creation.
digital marketing,
Yeah,
content
yeah.
creation, brands, blah, blah. So if you like it, we'll keep on talking about it.
And
just
ask
let
us
us know
questions.
ask us
Yeah.
questions. What do you want to
Yeah.
know about the content world, the digital marketing world, the PR world,
Yeah.
whatever it may be? Ask us and we'll tell you.
Exactly, right? But I saw a conversation happening on Twitter like about a day or two ago. Twitter, we need to stop calling it Twitter, by the way. It's X now.
Ex ongasolveki tukuzum isigebengu singakhuzeki.
I thought you were a child. Oh, it's a big ness.
Tell me, is it ke motho a kgale nna?
No, we're not mutakhale.
Ke motho a kgale. You may be older than me, but ke motho a kgale nna.
Do you think the content creation space, and I remember we touched on it in one of our episodes, do you think content creators in general and gatekeeping is a very prominent thing that's happening right now?
I don't think in content creation necessarily, like when it comes to platform. If I can speak to X, I know people used to complain about people gatekeeping them of promos.
Right.
That used to be like a huge thing. Like, you know, it's always the same people doing the same promos all the
Right.
time. You
Right.
guys never give us a chance, blah, blah. But in terms of like the content creation world as a whole, I don't think it's a thing. Maybe you can shape it inside because you're in it. But from a person looking out, if I have that perspective, that wide view, I don't see anyone who's specifically gatekeeping the market.
No, I do honestly think it's a thing. And
Really?
yes, as someone who's definitely built her content creation, built myself in the content creation space, definitely set myself apart from what I would call my colleagues or my competitors. Gatekeeping is very real in a content creation place. Let me give an example. Let's say someone sees my content and we're shooting right now with these amazing cameras with the Secret Service there in the background. Hello, Secret Service. And then someone comes up and says, oh, what studio do you use? And you see people deliberately not saying that, oh, we use Sense Studios, right? Big shout out, big shout out. So I've noticed that with the content creation space, content creators gatekeep from one another in general. Information, the sharing of information. But now then, the question that is then posed is this. If you, Ria, watch a lot of content on how to better yourself, better your craft, maybe you watch international vloggers and bloggers, and then you go through all those endless hours, you spend the 10,000 hours, and someone wants to come and constantly ask you, where do you get this? Is that not sharing your IP to a certain degree? And I know this is a question that I obviously share. I don't gatekeep. That's just one thing about me. But when you look at it, and someone who develops their craft and it becomes so immaculate, and then people keep saying, what camera do you use? Where did you get this? How do you do this? How do you edit? How do I get into the space? Is that also to a certain degree not sharing your IP?
I don't think so, Chomi. I think if
Right.
if you want to steal my concept, or if you ask me to go into intricate detail about my concept, that's stealing my IP. Because I'm giving you bar for bar, word for word on, like, take for instance our podcast. If someone wants to come to us and say, how do we come up with our content?
Topics, yeah.
Like, what's our strategy? What's, how do we get around that? That's stealing our IP. But if someone asks us which studio do we shoot at, what kind of cameras do they use, I don't think that falls into intellectual property because it's not our property.
No, but then if someone comes to the studio and then says, oh, guys,
I want
this
the
camera,
same-
how do you shoot this? You
Yeah.
know, with photographers and videographers, they're going to tell you, oh, okay, this is the camera that I use. But they won't tell you the settings. They won't tell you the 60 seconds per frame because then you're taking food out of their mouth if they give you everything down to the last dime.
You know what? A huge part of IP is the person. The person makes the content.
To a certain degree.
Tell me, no one can step into the studio, book this exact studio and do what we do.
Nah, they can't.
They can't.
They have to be funny. They have to have a good relationship and beautiful.
And be like, you see what I mean? And even if the prettiest girl steps in here and they are best friends and they have great chemistry, they still will never be us. They don't have those intricate ingredients to form this.
Let's get technical about it. If, let's say, for example, and I will use her because I love her down, and I definitely check out her content all the time. I'm going to use Mihlali. If I go to Mihlali as someone who shares the same content with her, right? We do the same thing. And everything is the same. And I'm like, hey, Hlali, what do you use for this? Obviously, Mihlali is also not a gatekeeper. She would share with me. She shares with the followers all the time. But if I say, going down to the last drop of how you edit and this and this and this, that makes her her, and she got her followers by doing that. And also learning from people who never shared with her. So does she have a leg to stand on by choosing not to share those things?
I mean, yes and no. Take it like this.
Okay.
Eventually, I'm going to get there.
If
you don't tell me you're using a Sony to shoot, one day I'm going to find out whether you like it or not.
Okay, but if someone comes to me and says, hey, Naledi, I want to go to a Heineken event, who do I contact? Obviously, we've already dropped that as Duma Collective, but if I choose not to share who from Duma Collective, is that gatekeeping?
In a sense, yes.
How?
Because I'm asking you for information, you're not sharing it.
But
and
that
information
but
that
that
can help
information
me
is at the cost of the bread that's taken out of my mouth.
No. Okay,
How?
well, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, sort of.
This is what I'm saying.
Sort of.
I'm always
How
going to
did
be
you
the
tell
devil's
me?
advocate.
No one can be an Naledi M. Even if I ask you for that contact and I hit up Duma Collectors and I say, invite me to the next event, I'm still not you.
But also, friend, you don't know what people do once they get a hold of your contact. So here's a story I heard. I know we're digressing a bit, but I need to land the plane. There's a girl that I was talking to. She's also in the social media space. She came up to me. We spoke briefly. We're acquaintances, but we're not friends.
Okay.
And she's like, yo, Naledi, when I think about the time, no. Well, yes, in a sense, it's quite similar, but she was in a different industry, not content creation, but not far. So think entertainment.
Okay.
She's like, yo, Naledi, there was a time where I was very open with information, giving out my agent's number, to all the girlies and doing whatever. And me and my agent had a good relationship, Only come to find that she gave the number of an agent to one of somebody. And this person basically was proposing or pushing herself as the better candidate. She's got cheaper rates, she's got this, she's got this, she's got this. So now I'm someone who's very transparent about how much I would charge for a YouTube video. Not now though, y'all be safe. But I'm very transparent if a friend of mine comes up to me and asks me things like that. Turn around, only come to find that some people, because this space is a very fickle space and it's very volatile, people will then say, okay, if Naledi charges 10,000, I'm here to tell you that I will charge you the same amount of work, but for 5.
You know I've experienced that.
Because it happens.
There was a creator trip I was working on, and it seems like these creators were friends. I mean, they were friends. If I think back to how they used to behave on social, they were friends.
Of course.
But the one hit us up and was like, hey, I know you guys are going to XYZ for a weekend. I can give you the exact same deliverables, maybe more, for a cheaper price than, and she dropped the name. And I was like, oh, do you not prefer that maybe we discuss with client and have you guys do a package deal with the both of you because you guys are friends? I think it would make for great content. And she was like, no, it's either me or her. And I was like, oh.
Not that. What did they call it?
And you know what? I'm sorry to pivot, okay? But this is why it's so difficult finding true and genuine friendship in
adulthood, in our career, in our industry, but just in general.
In general.
No,
making
we were gonna
friends
pivot
as an
then.
adult is so crazy because imagine your friend who's in the same industry as you, who
You're
knows how
sharing.
difficult it is to make money in this industry.
Goes and tries to take bread out of your mouth.
Ow.
And that's the thing. This is why, to a certain degree, look, I wouldn't say I've experienced it firsthand because there is nothing that anyone can steal from me that I haven't actively shared on my YouTube channel.
Period.
Except the niggas that I'm sleeping with. And even if that were the case, trust and believe, My niggas is hoes, they will probably go for you. So please don't. I won't
looking
gatekeep
for
them
the
from you.
hoes. Where they at though?
But my thing is, I'm starting to understand the sense as to why content creators gatekeep, not necessarily the not sharing of information parts. That's a bit crazy. But it's also just realizing that in the space that we live in, we're all fighting for the same piece of the pie. And even though we delude ourselves into saying that the pie is big for everyone, it doesn't mean that just because Rhea and I can get the same piece, that she might not want more than what I have.
Yeah.
And that's where the part of friendship comes in.
I mean, I get gatekeeping, but to a certain extent.
To a certain extent.
Because if I ask you, like, if you were to comment down below, hey, Rhea, what blush did you use? I'm not going to say, no. You know?
Some people say,
Those,
hey, no, I don't
those
wanna
are,
promote.
yeah,
I don't
those
wanna-
are like little things. But also, you're not, and I was, oh my gosh, I remember having this exact conversation because I had a conversation with some girl at the office who said she wants brand deals with clothing brands.
Yeah.
She posts on TikTok. And I was like, so why don't you tag about Mr. Price, H&M, Cotton On?
Yeah.
Tag them. That's how they'll recognize you. Look for the agency that they has the brands, whatever.
Of
and she
course.
was like, no, I don't want to give them brand promo. How do you expect to make it on social media if you don't at least say hashtag Revlon or something?
Fair. But also the brands then exploit that.
True.
They see the free promo, they take it.
And that's why things like usage come into the picture. Do not let a brand repost, post, take your content for free. Don't do it.
But come on, if I've tagged the brand, I'm obviously
They will
giving them
always
leeway.
want to do it. Yes, they can repost on their story. That's fun. That's cute. Once a brand takes your content and repurpose it on their social media, like a feed post,
Right.
or on a billboard, or inserted Nyana into an ad, you could get money for that, Pookie.
Pookie, that's fair. But billboard part, obviously, that's above the line
Yeah.
advertising.
Yeah.
They would need to pay for that. They would need to get some sort of signature from you to be able to do that. I remember with the Daily Mail when they took my video and they were doing that article. They had already written the article, but then they had DM'd me on TikTok to ask me for the right to put it on their page, right? So to a certain degree, because of social media, once you put it out there, anybody can repurpose it for whatever reason.
Anybody can repurpose it, but not everybody's a brand. If I repurpose your picture, I'm an individual. I don't work for anything. My page is not attached to any brand.
Okay.
Once a brand starts using your content that you developed on your own with your money to advertise their product,
That's when things can.
exactly. Because what are you, as an influencer, what are you doing? Do you not create content and send it to this brand?
That's fair, but there's a fine line.
Do you not, join me, do you not create content for Sony and send Sony the video to post?
Of course.
Does Sony not pay you?
Yes.
So when you're creating content on TikTok and Sony wants to take that TikTok and repurpose it and use it across all their social media, not as a 24-hour story, but as something that will live on their feed for a very long time,
It's
why can't they pay you?
That one is a bit of a tricky situation, friend, because that's the whole. No, why can't they pay you? Okay, fine. Let me give you an example.
If they're paying Naledi Mallela for creating content and posting it, why can't they pay Reabetso Molefe?
Because Rabeto Molefe probably has 10,000 followers and she's thinking of the exposure part. There's so much fine print to it that they could say.
I'm not saying I'm going to charge you the same as Naledi.
Then why tag the brand? You're tagging the brand for exposure, but then once the brand exposes you to their audience, you can't then turn around and
I'm
say,
saying, look at me. You can use me. You
It's the
can pay
same-
me.
It's the same concept that I saw on TikTok about a week and a half ago between Dominic and Lasizwe, Dominic Zaka, right? Okay, fair enough. You know what? That's fair enough because I love them both anyway. But I'm trying to make you understand why it's so important as a content creator to be very mindful of understanding where you cut your losses.
Yes,
If you're
okay.
going to tag Revlon, you know that there's a chance that Revlon will take it and repurpose it, right?
Yeah.
And they will repurpose it under the sole guise of you tagged us, we're giving you that
Use
feedback.
it on your story.
That's my thing. But every single content creator becomes popular by tagging and utilizing these brands and giving them a platform. Once they start asking you to do free content, that's a completely different story.
You know what? I'm going to close this on my part by saying,
Right.
tag a brand on your own discretion. At your own discretion, do
Yeah.
it. If you don't wanna, if you don't feel like getting exploited, and I use that word very
very,
loosely.
very loosely.
If you don't feel like getting exploited, do it. It's really at your own discretion. Because my thing is, it's so easy for brands to get free advertising through, oh yeah, you just tagged us.
That's
so we
my
used
thing.
your content.
And those are big brands, guys. So be mindful at the end that to be the content creator that you see your faves as, there's a lot of exploitation that goes into work. Like,
Yeah.
I negotiate with Rhea all the time. She'll be like, oh, your friend, can you just drop it down a little bit? I was like, what? What? Who? Fine. Because it's you. So it's a give and take. But
It
speaking
is.
of relationships, we were talking about friendships and adulthood.
You know what? No.
Okay.
I will say,
Yes.
I have met some really amazing people as an adult.
Oh my God, thank you, friend.
You know, I got to meet you as a fully grown woman with a developed kind of maybe tongue,
Frontal lobe.
frontal lobe.
Right.
But I've also got to meet some really shitty people.
Yes.
Like some really shit. And way kitty. You know yourself.
Sure, me.
But I got to meet some really shitty people. And it's like, as a woman, I don't know if men go through this, because men is like, yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah.
It's so hard to build genuine relationships and make genuine friendships in your prime time for our love in your 20s.
Hey, friend.
Because if
Yo.
you're eliminating high school, it's finished.
Of course.
You're eliminating any sort of tertiary education. You're
Yes.
at work. You're
Yes.
faced with colleagues, you know, who are like,
Yes.
I have friends who are in their 30s, 40s. And it's only because we've worked together that we built
Good
like
friends.
exactly.
Yeah.
But like, especially and I saw this girl tweet, KZN girls are mean.
Ooh.
And I know it's always been a Joburg girls are mean.
It's always been a Joe.
I saw a tweet this past week that said KZN girls are mean. And I was like, maybe it's just a mean, like everywhere has mean girls.
No, look, when I started in my 20s, I think I had a bunch of friends. You could look at 8, 10 girlfriends, you know. I always thought I was going to be that wife or that bride that has, you know, a whole line of bridesmaids. But I am 30 now, turning 31, and I can tell you for a fact that I can count my friends on my hands, and it doesn't supersede 5. No, 4. Yeah, we've reached the 5 mark. So it's Ria, Senzo, Skamo, Presh, Zola, period. And to think that when I started, and mind you, these are all people I've known for years plus, right? I'm not in the business of making any more friends. If I meet someone and we become friends, it needs to be super organic. I'm not going to put the work into it because as someone who's definitely been in this industry for a long time, I've seen what friends can genuinely do to you or how friends can genuinely use you unbeknownst to you.
You know what? I feel like, and I can feel my tears standing right here. I can feel them.
Okay.
Because sometimes I feel like I'm such a nice person.
Yeah.
I'm such a nice person. And I meet people who take advantage of the fact that I'm a nice person. And you act like my friend. You say you're my friend. You dress like my friend. You look like my friend, but you're not my friend. At all. And you see how you can benefit from my kindness, my life, everything. And so you use me up until a point where you feel I'm disposable. And that's why I have such a big problem with opening my heart to making new friends now. I don't want it. I don't need it. Naledi, I don't need it at all. Right now, I can tell you, Jorge, besides you and Komoto and some of the people that I consider my really, really good friends, my mom is my friend. My mom trumps all of you. Because no matter what, I know that woman won't leave me.
At all.
I know, Jorge, if ever, God forbid, I had to move out of my apartment with absolutely nothing and go back home, ka matrase wa ka, o ko rekileng ka 7,500, my mom will be there. My mom will be there.
Hey, dude, and friendship breakups really stink.
They suck.
When I realized that one of my friends, and we had been friends for 5 years plus, would do things to hurt me, and people would tell me, "Ore, do you realize, Moto man, or when you're not with them, I went towards them bigger way now. Oh, na le dula le so man." You know, let me give you an example. you know me, I like to have a good time, child. I'm gonna buy shots. And then we'll be sitting around.
One thing about Naledi,
I will buy shots.
even for strangers, guys, I need you to experience going out with I wish I could vlog a full day of going out with Naledi so you can see the things that happen.
You know, honestly. And I think I'm going to give you a very like surface example, but it actually hurts me because she's done worse. But let's say we're sitting around a group of guys and it's similar to that story we had a conversation about. And guys will be like, oh, Naledi, you know how to take it back. And then she'll throw in a comment like, yeah, she always gets drunk, hey?
I hate those friends.
The friends that they see you succeed, they clap for you, but then it's always like led by a very...
Backwards comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you start looking back and after the friendship has kind of deteriorated and you cry because you realize that, dude, I had your back.
Like I gave you
my all.
I gave you everything I could give
For
you.
me, it hurts me the most when they meet my parents. And then you realize, oh no, man, my parents are my everything. And to realize, oh, I put you in a space where this is my sanctuary.
Yeah, this is my safe haven.
And realizing that when your parents ask you, oh guys, you don't even know Okala guy. What do you
played
say?
in my face. Oh my gosh. I would rather go through 10 breakups with
Then
men
go through a friendship
than
breakup.
go through a friendship breakup.
That shit hurts.
I can't, man. Like, I feel like friendship is so important to me. And I need to tell you guys, Naledi and I don't talk every day.
Yeah.
We don't talk every day. But I know if I pick up the phone, that girl is there.
Yep.
That girl is there. And that's the kind of friend that I want to reflect.
Yeah.
And so when I don't get that in return, I question myself. I'm like, am I a bad friend? Do I not give enough? Am I not empathetic enough? Do I not present myself the way you want me to present myself? Friendship is such a hurtful topic to me because, and I think it stems from primary. I had these friends in primary, and I don't know if they watch this, I don't know if they'll see this, but they could be good friends, but they used to bully me all the time. If it wasn't about my skin color, it was about my weight. If it wasn't about my weight, it was always about something.
I was also the weakest link in my friendship group. So we used to have this friendship group called Sebi Fenaza back in high school. And I know they're going to be like, oh, no. So I'm loud and I'm obviously very mouthy. But I was the weakest link from a looks perspective. And
I get it, Shobi, same. In primary.
Not in high school, mind
even
you.
in high school, because I went to an all-girls school in the beginning of my high school career. Girls are brutal.
Yo, like...
I can tell you grade 8 and 9, I struggled.
I don't even know. I think the reason I became friends with them at that time was because I was friends. One of the girls I was in that same squad with, I obviously don't want to say her name for very obvious purposes.
I was about to say my bully's name.
Her and I...
Life Drive.
No, she wasn't my bully in Togozo. I'll say it. Her and I were friends since we were 6. And when we went to high school, we met 3 other girls. So there was 5 of us. And there were 2 colored girls in our friendship group. And then there was this one lady. And then there was Ntogozo and I. So we went into high school already having that bond.
Yeah.
And I just watched how an odd number group of friends, people always draw closer to each other. Like she drew closer to the other girl. And then the other 2 colored ladies drew closer to each other. And I just always felt like the odd one out for the longest time. The longest. And you know, I actually talk about it, but I hate talking about that phase of my life because I was so lonely and then my mom died. And then there's just so much pain when I think about high school that I don't think about high school anymore.
I mean, you know, I
think
think
about high
from
school
grade
anymore.
10 to 12, it was really a blur for me because I changed schools. I was in a new school. I had to adapt, but I kind of hid.
Yeah.
And like, I wanted to become a prefect, head girl, whatever, to hide the fact that I was so insecure about myself because I never ever was celebrated. Not by friends, not by family, nothing. It was just absolute silence. So after I went from a space of being bullied by my friends in primary to being bullied in high school. And with high school it was a bit different because number one, it's boarding school. You're always with these people.
Oh, Jesus.
You're
You can't even go
always
home.
with these people. Number 2, it's all girls. It's girl on girl violence. It's like, it was brutal trauma. And then the thing is, I came from like I said, predominantly white Afrikaans school and area. And my grandmother, shout out to my matriarch, Dr. Ntombi Mulefe. She's a doctor. She made sure I knew English. She made sure I was the girl. So when I went to high school, I experienced a thing where I was thrown into a predominantly Tswana school in the middle of the Northwest, and everyone would bully me for that. So I was the girl who thought she was better because she spoke
English.
Exactly.
And she spoke that good English.
Oh, in grade 8, I struggled. And people that I thought were my friends ended up talking shit about me. Like, I remember there was a time when I heard everything that these girls had said about me because there was a grade 8 camp before we joined the greater school. And it was like probably 8 to 10 of us. And we became friends. Like it was a huge group.
Yeah.
And towards the middle of grade 8, when someone told me everything they were saying about me, I remember there's this lady that I knew from the time she went to school with my dad, and she was our hostel mother. I remember going to her and crying, and I was like, I'm offing myself. These people hate me, and they're supposed to be my friends.
No, friend, hey. You're vusering the neighbors. Is this the trauma dump part that we do?
Chomi, let's not trauma dump. What I'm going to say is,
I want to give a big shout out to Mrs. Buchanan. There's a lady from St. Catherine's, her name is Mrs. Buchanan. I also wanted to off myself in grade 10, but that was because my mom died that year, right?
Yeah, that was...
But big shout out to that lady, because there was a point where I was so isolated and so alone that every single break, first and second, I would go to a classroom and I'd read books. Like that library in St. Catherine's knows me to finish to fucking back. And luckily we can say the F-bomb because it's our podcast. But shout out to that lady. Because she would sit me down and she would tell me like, this is a phase. That lady, if you're failing, because I was failing, guys. I was a failure and everybody thought I was going to fail. And, I hated that we're a product of all our insecurities.
Yeah.
We are a product of everything everything that everyone told us we were going to become. And we chose to fight against it.
Real.
But then now we didn't heal those traumas.
We didn't. And it's so hard. But I will say...
Damn. You almost made me tear up.
I'm sorry, Chobi. I will say you're a good friend. You're an amazing friend. And every chance I get, I will pour into you because you deserve that.
You always pour into me.
And I love you so much. And thank you for being the one friend who makes adulthood worth it. Because even though it's hard making friends as an adult, I got a good one, guys. I got a good one.
Do you know how long it took me to do this makeup?
I got a good one.
Oh,
Pookies.
you're so fucking.
I got a good one.
Oh, you're such a bad girl. Oh my God. But yeah, man. My biggest, like when I look at my friends, I look at them with a lot of pride.
Yeah.
I never wanted to have friends for the aesthetic of it. I never cared to be friends with all the popular people. I just cared to be friends with people who liked me.
Oh, real.
And
real.
Right?
Oh, real.
And I look at all my friends and they're all so different and they came together at Heineken and it's almost like they all knew each other for years. They waited.
It was like we all knew each other.
It's like,
it's
like we all just walked in and it was all just like, hey girl, like I know you, I know you,
It was such a good time. Truly.
And I just hope that you guys find a friendship that pours into you the way our friendships pour into us. And I guess we're done, like, being
emotional. Can I ask you something, Chomi?
Yeah, ask me.
To close off.
Are we closing off already?
We're closing off.
So we're done crying?
Bye.
Okay, fine. We'll cry
I saw
together
this
at
thing
dinner.
trending on TikTok and I think I saw it on Twitter too.
Okay.
What propaganda aren't you falling for?
Pregnancy. I'm not falling for that propaganda. Oh, having a baby seems fun.
Yeah,
now.
a child away from my ovaries, my fallopian tubes. Close it.
Guys, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus Christ the Most High. I rebuke that in the name of the spirits.
Can I just go sideways, completely sideways?
What's that sideways?
Which is so funny. When I was
oh, sorry guys. That's actually one of our things. Continue.
When I was, I think 2 years ago.
Right.
I won't say how old I was, but I found out I have PCOS. And this gynecologist was like, oh my gosh, girls, you have so many cysts.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, she was so worried about me. She's like,
Yeah.
I can't believe you've never been to a gynae. You're not okay, girl.
2 years ago and you've never been to a gynae.
Never. I've been till
So,
2 years ago.
not a pap smear, not nothing.
And she was like, okay, no. And she actually talked me through it. She was very gentle, but she was like, this is why you're experiencing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Because I thought the period pains I experienced are normal.
No.
But she was like, no.
It could be PCOS, endometriosis.
The extreme things that you experience are normal. It's because of all these cysts. And I just want to tell you that you need to think about a possibility of you not being able to have kids. And I was like, that's okay.
Say less, bruh.
Say less, my dog.
What the hell am I going to do with
Yo,
that
that
thing?
propaganda. I don't want it.
The second propaganda is marriage. I'm not falling for it.
No thanks. Bye.
What are we going to do with marriage?
Bye.
What are we going to do with marriage?
What's the propaganda I'm not falling for? Maybe they all cheat. Do you believe all men cheat?
Yes. Yes.
Secret Service
Secret
is
Service
looking
is
us.
like, I believe that all men cheat.
Oh,
I
I
really do
don't. I don't.
So do you think the man in your life currently right now is not cheating on you? Real talk.
Baby, you know what? My boyfriend's mad at me.
Yes.
Because last episode I said I miss my ex. So baby, you don't cheat, okay? I love you so much. Oh my gosh.
If it makes you guys feel better, I think I might have a boyfriend. He told me to get rid of all my hoes. So I might be in a relationship, but who knows, bro? We're moving with the times right now. Fine, fourth propaganda. Before we close off.
Giving up what you like for a man. Anything.
What the heck?
Anything. I won't give up clubbing. I don't club anymore, but I will never give up clubbing, alcohol, vaping, loving Jesus, God, my savior. I won't give up anything for a man. I will not even eat a carrot for you. I will not eat fruit and vegetables for you. I will not give up junk food.
You're
for
eating
you.
fruits and vegetables for yourself, right?
Do I eat? Anyway.
Hell no.
My thing is, I'm not giving up anything for a man. I refuse. Even my career.
Yeah, fair.
I would want to be a stay-at-home wife, girlfriend, whatever.
Fair.
But it's my choice. It's not your choice. You're not going to be asking me to do shit.
I want to be a stay-at-home business owner with like money.
Yeah, like I
coming
want to
in.
have hobbies.
Okay,
Like,
fine.
I can own like a PR agency that's
Yeah.
just like a.
What's another propaganda I'm not falling for? What's another propaganda I'm not falling for?
Waxing my cooch.
Please, guys, wax your kitties, wax your coochies. Don't shave. There's ingrowns. There's so many things down there. And as an active waxer since the age of 21, I can assure you that there are so many men who are appreciative of that thing, like feeling
I'm
and
not
tasting
doing
like a kitty.
anything for men though.
Wax it for yourself if you must. Wax it for yourself if you must. Come on. Have you ever gotten your coochie wax, friend?
No.
Do you know what it feels like when it's done?
No.
Let me come with you, okay? I'll be there for moral support, but friend, you need to feel how good your coochie. It's like a baby's bottom.
I just shave a landing strip so that my man has line of sight.
No,
And we're
guys.
good.
I even wax my bum. I wax it
The
all.
only thing I've waxed is my armpits and my peach fuzz and my brows.
You've got a peach fuzz. That's crazy.
Fuck you.
Willy Wonka there, eh?
Oh my gosh. You're a terrible person. Guys, goodbye. It was so great being with you.
Okay, fine.
hell?
We're closing it off, guys. Hey, we'll see you guys on the next episode. Fine, close us off then.
Okay, thank you everyone for watching this amazing episode of ENN.
Yes.
ENN. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope you got to have fun with my Pookie over here, Naledi. That's goodbye to us from Everything and
Nothing podcast.
exactly where we talk about absolutely everything.
Cut the cameras. You didn't say make sure to comment, like, and subscribe.
Oh, yeah, comment, like, subscribe. Hey, guys, you guys are following me, hey? Linketa anxious, man. Hey, every day I get a notification, Instagram,
Yeah.
TikTok, lang follow, and the Linketa. Askies, guys. If I'm not following back, it's
That's
not 'cause I
on
don't want
personal
to.
branding when we told you about Scots.
It's not because I don't want to, guys. It's because like I get overwhelmed. But I'll follow you back, okay? But follow us, subscribe,
Right.
like, comment.
Pookie,
Engage. Let's get to 200,000 subbies.
Woo! Road to
Together.
200K.
We are. See you guys on the next episode of the Everything and
Nothing podcast.
Exactly.
Something about her, she got a void. I can't deny when I'm around her. I feel it inside. I feel like the sky open and the sunshine starts beaming. Getting what I've been hoping for.
Join me, Naledi Mallela, on a brand new season of My Top 5.